crash. My PS4 crashed like the Twin Towers, and you just gotta be quick. Can I get a r/curse image? Who the heck decided the English language? Man. My father? Or Joe Mama? Write 5 words you can spell. Did Gavin do my mom? So y'all just ever turn into a xenomorph? Like you just go.
Need to use your drone to locate a bomb. Your drone has found a bomb.
Guys, I have a question. So, sweatshop workers will be really good sushi people. Because listen, if they're rolling cigarettes, they can roll sushi. Because if they're a sweatshop worker for rolling tobacco, then they can roll sushi. Now, the way I think this is because, see, we all know Snoop Dogg is good at sushi. Now, see, there's a theory on why he's good at it. Because he induces. That sucks. What a loser. Alright, maybe he's just good at sushi. Why'd I choose Buck? So, I got a shotgun. That's pretty hot. Oh yeah, they're removing the they're removing grenades from Buck, which kind of suck. Yes, Papio. Hey, Osprey. Chicken nuggets are really good, but what if sushi was cocaine? Well, you see, if sushi was cocaine, it would no longer be sushi. It'd just be fish casing powder. It'd just be sugar, but it comes from the sea. It's like salt. You okay? You okay there? Oh frick. Oh frick. Oh, I died. Alright. So, what this stream is gonna be, it's just gonna be me making weird sounds and playing video games. It's gonna be like a joint. I'm trying to make it to 24 hours, but this ain't, we all know that ain't gonna work, so I'll at least make it 12 hours. Just joint. I don't know.
The diffuser is now secured.
It's already happening, man. I'm becoming weak, man.
Are you still taking a shit?
Yeah.
How's that bathroom, Bella?
Imagine just pooping and somebody puts a tarp over the stink hole. And so all you have is just poop touching your butt. And it's really awkward, because now it's just a waste of... But if you had a box of the cocaine is sushi, the cocaine is sushi,
15 seconds
and the
left.
box is cocaine. Question mark. What?
Seconds remaining.
Doesn't make any sense.
Op
But if
4
you had
eliminated
a
all
box, if you had a box on the if you have a box, the cocaine is sushi and the box is cocaine. It doesn't make any sense. Are you saying like sushi that has the side effects of cocaine? What if everything in our food had side effects of cocaine, but the actual narcotics just disable that? These are some podcast questions.
We need to locate a bomb.
Oh, so big between you.
Be advised your drone has located a bomb.
Wait, who just joined? Read a bedtime story. Okay. Alright, let me get my book. Alright, so, Osprey,
Insertion in 10 seconds.
what book do you want? Do you want Hatchet?
Insertion in 5
Do you want
seconds.
Hatchet? Do you want David Weber, Most Toil Ad Tubulator, Wildstorm, 0 Hour, Rising of the Shield Hero, Box Trolls, The Losers Club, Wonder, Despero? That's a really good book. I should read that. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I think I'll read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Or Redwall. I mean, Matsimo. Yeah, what you want? I'm reading a bedtime story. Yeah, yeah. Hold up. Let me just die.
Boosting adrenaline.
Replicator online.
Hey, Connor. Hey, Connor. Who?
Adrenaline surge.
Hey, whoa. Just pick one. Alright. I'm going with the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Ah, I've been gooped on. Y'all ever just... chicken leg meat. Alright. He said just pick one. Alright, I'm leading the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Because it's like kindergarten level. Bruh. Only true bros stay on when they're wiping. They actually show it.
Clear the blast area.
Alright, Osprey.
I'm out.
I'm playing ranked, so I can't leave. Yeah, and I'm losing. And I'm reading a bedtime story. Alright. Let me get my reading flashlight, which is just a flashlight. Alright. I think I'll stop till page around 50. Nope. Page 40. No, page 30. I'll wait till page 30. Or 2 chapters. Chapter 1. Hold up.
Swapping mags.
Chapter 1. Lucy looks into a wardrobe. Once there were 4 children whose names were Peter,
You must recover the
Susan,
diffuser.
Emma,
One
and
friendly
Lucy.
operator remaining.
This story is about something. Yes.
We have
I'm reading a book to Osprey. I will eat your booty. Alright, I gotta clutch up Osprey, not right now. Alright, we clutching up. Actually, no. Ah, frick, I can't be recruit and ranked. This sucks. Rainbow Six Siege, you officially suck. You made a recruit into some little trash. How many times would Scrat die in Ice Age? I should really watch that, but I don't want to. Filthy Franks versus Animal Rights. Alright, I'm gonna watch this one.
need to use your drone to locate a bomb. Drone has located a bomb. Your drone has found a bomb. Ten seconds to go. 5 seconds to insertion. You found a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Hostile. Second floor.
My brother said you smell good, said by Osprey. Well, you see, your brother, he's kind of a pedophile, so, listen, if he's my chair, then I'm looking for my, I'm looking at my chair just to see if it doesn't have eyes, or a nose. Now, you made me paranoid, Osprey, you just made me paranoid. You're gonna keep me awake at night, and thank you for keeping me awake, because that's what I'm trying to do. Hey, no playing rap music, or your mom is a pee-pee. Who's playing rap music? Who's playing music? No playing music. Unless you're a poopy head.
Diffuser is no longer in your possession. One
Ah,
friendly
I'm
operator remaining.
trash.
We have been eliminated.
Please stop playing rap music. Please, not rap music. It's just music in general that I can't be play. That I don't want music to
10
play
seconds to insertion.
because I don't know if I'll get
Op 4 has found
copyrighted
a
for
bomb.
it.
5 seconds to insertion. Op 4 has located
I know,
a bomb.
but I don't want to
Be
get
ready
like
for hostile
fined
action.
for anything.
Copy right here.
That's my ringtone. Literally.
I'll just mute them for now. I do not want to get copyrighted or fined because I don't want that stuff is whack. Who the heck is playing Clash? Which I'm playing Clash. Clash is annoying. Just taser cop. Just literally taser cop. Brawler. Tase. What the heck is this vigil, bro? Oh, it's right here.
Reloading. Setting needle candy.
Dang. We got Rambo here.
Op 4, last stop standing.
I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission. I don't want to miss this. Frick, I missed. Ooh, where'd it go? Oh, I want to see the thing that flies.
Friendly
Wow,
victorious.
that was
Hostiles
easy.
eliminated.
0 kill. Look at this dude. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Secure the bombs. Op 4 has located a bomb. Plan your defenses accordingly.
Wall secured! Device deployed.
10 seconds to insertion.
Let them come.
5 seconds and counting. Bomb located by Op 4.
Stand clear of window.
Just a little prick. I dare you to come closer. I dare you.
Still with my fault there.
Hello?
Impact.
What's this thing on?
Hostile. Right here.
Stop what there?
No, your mic's not on. Sorry.
Op
Oh,
4 has
sorry.
located a bomb.
My fault. So, y'all like cheese? Oh no, such misfortune. Where could they be? In the bathroom. In the, no, not it. Can't be in the bathroom. Yeah, it'd be the window.
Damn, how much would that be for you though?
Remember, always keep track of where you put your thingamalings. You go bim bam, yes ma'am. Oh hey. Oh hey, just about go to bed. No we can Skype tonight,
Op
but
4, last
that's
operator
alright.
standing.
Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow. Uh-oh. Dino tracks. As long as we stay alive, we are safe. I can't even see crap. Where?
15 seconds left. Time expires in 10 seconds. 5 seconds remaining. You're out of time.
Please stop. Psst. Oh hey. Spout go to bed. I know we can Skype it. Hold up. Let me equip a really crappy mic. Hold up. Is this bad? Is I can hear breathing. Oh hey. I'll go to bed. I know we Skype tonight, but that's alright. Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know. I can't fall right now. Can I fall? Hold up. ASMR. Eating lemon peels. Alright, I'm back. What? No, hey, Iser, shut up. I was gonna read a bedtime story after this.
Ready to engage.
You better not be going to bed. I'm not. They're saying the meme. Because it's funny. I'm trying to resist, man. Alright, well that worked. See, all you gotta do is be stupid. Be so stupid that no one knows what you're doing. That's why I want to play Oryx. That's why I'm gonna get Oryx, because I can just be stupid. Oh, hey. Oh, that was a bad
In this
decision.
zone, you will be detected
Oh,
by
hey.
hostiles. You have been spotted by hostiles. Fall back.
No. I'm in the middle of a ranked match. I can't leave.
When did you start it? When the fuck did you start it, Zappy?
Do you know how long ranked matches are? No, I didn't, dummy.
I can see you're on round 1 out of 6, stupid.
No, I ain't. Look, you can look at my stream. You can look at my stream. No, I ain't.
Alright, let me see your stream, bro.
Alright.
Bro, I'll see. Alright, if you don't join, you obviously have ball syndrome.
What?
Ball syndrome. Zappy, I mean,
One
Trent,
friendly
that's
operator remaining.
What if you
Mission failed. All friendlies were eliminated.
help a brother out? No, but I don't, if I want to make a song, I sing. I don't want to do ding-a-ling, but like, if I try to do something. Okay, Dylan. Oh, Zappy's squealing, okay? Aggro. Create new vibration. Alright, no, Trans, actually, I need it. Trans, no, actually. You fucking just did it.
Guys, so I'm gonna read a bedtime story. So please be quiet. Trains, I'll rip out your throat and feed it to your dog. So listen, very quietly. So, let's begin. Who's playing that?
It's a YouTube video on how to lick up balls.
Could you pause it? Could you pause it?
Guys, we're gonna be talking about titties and
Alright, I'm muting them. Sorry. So, today, we'll be reading The Lion, the Witch, the Wardrobe. Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Lucy looks into a wardrobe. Once there were 4 children, whose names were Peter, Susan, Edmund, Lucy, and Lucy. The story is about something that happened to them when they were sent away from London during the war because of the air raids. They were sent to the house of an old professor who lived in the heart of the country, 10 miles from nearest railway station and 2 miles from the nearest post office. He had no wife, and he lived in a very large house with a housekeeper named Miss Macready and 3 other servants. Their names were Ivy, Margaret, and Betty, but they could not come into the story much. He himself was a very old man with shaggy white hair, which grew over most of his face as well on his head, and they liked him as almost at once. But on the first evening, when he came out to meet them at the front door, he was so odd-looking that Lucy, who was the youngest, was a little afraid of him, and Edmund, who was... Sorry guys, let me just adjust my mic. The next youngest wanted to laugh and had to keep pretending he was blowing his nose to hide it. As soon as they had said goodnight to the professor and gone upstairs for the first night, the boys came into the girls' room and they all talked it over. "We have fallen on our feet and no mistake," said Peter. "This is going to be perfectly splendid. That old chap will let us do anything we like." "I think he's an old dear," said Susan. "Oh, come off it," said Edmund, who was tired and pretending not to be tired, which always made him bad-tempered. "Don't go on talking like that." "Like what?" said Susan. "Anyway, it's time you were in bed." "Trying to talk like mother," said Edmund. And who are you to say when I go to bed? Go to bed yourself." "Hadn't we all better go to bed?" said Lucy. "There's sure to be a row if we were heard talking here." "Be a row." No there won't," said Peter. "I'll tell you this is a sort of house where no one's going to mind what we do. Anyway, they won't hear us. It's about 10 minutes walk from here down to that dining room and any stairs or passages in between." "What's that noise?" Lucy said suddenly. It was a far larger house than she had ever been in before, and the thought of all those long passages and rows of doors leading to empty rooms beginning to make her feel a little creepy. Let me just adjust my headset, guys. It's getting a little itchy. I apologize. "It's only a bird, silly," said Edmund. It's an owl," said Peter. "This is going to be a wonderful place for birds. I shall go to bed now. I say, let's... How do I speak in a British accent? I'm American. You might... I should just get a British person. I wonder if they're on. I don't know. "You might find anything in this place like this. Did you see those mountains we came along? And the woods? And there might be eagles. There might be stags. There will be hawks." "Badgers," said Lucy. "Foxes," said Edmund. "Rabbits." Said Susan. But when next morning came, there was a steady rain following, so thick that when you looked out the window you could see neither the mountain nor the woods nor even the stream in the garden. "Of course it would be raining," said Edmund. They had just finished their breakfast with the professor, and they were upstairs when they had set apart for them. A long, low room with 2 windows looking out in one direction and 2 in another direction. "Do stop your grumbling, Ed," said Susan. 10 to 1. It'll clear up in an hour or so. And in the meantime, we're well pretty off. There's a wireless and lots of books." I don't know what a wireless is. Freaking British, my dude. Just kidding. British people are nice. "Not for me," said Peter. "I'm going to explore in the house." Everyone agreed to this, and this is how the adventures began. It was the sort of house that you'd never seem to come to the end of, and it was full of unexpected places. The first few doors they had tried led only into spare bedrooms, as everyone had expected that they would. But soon they came into a very long room, full of pictures, and they found a suit of armor. And after that, there was a room all hung with green, with a harp in one corner. And then there came 3 steps, and then came 3 steps down, 5 steps up, and then, there's a lot of and thens. And then a kind of a little upstairs hall with a door that led out onto a balcony. And then a whole series of rooms that led into each other and were lined with books, most of them old, very old books, and some bigger than the Bible in a church. And shortly after they had finished, what? And shortly after they had looked into a room that was quite empty except for one big wardrobe, the sort that had a looking glass in the door. There's nothing else in the room. There's nothing else in the room at all except a dead blue bottle. What the frick? Except a dead blue bottle on the windowsill. "Nothing here," said Peter, and they trooped out again, except Lucy. She stayed behind because she thought it would be worthwhile trying the door of the wardrobe, even though she felt almost certainly that it'd be locked. To her surprise, it opened quite easily, and 2 mothballs dropped out. What the frick are mothballs? Hold up. Take a pause. Guys, do you want to look? Guys.
Trent, tell me letter by letter, how the fuck did you spell it?
Guys. Connor. Trans.
What the fuck do you want, nigger?
Really? Connor. You know I'm doing a stream.
Yes, I'm black. Goddamn.
No, you aren't.
Fuck. Nigga.
I'm muting you. Oh my god. I apologize about that, guys. I seriously apologize. I hope I don't get banned over this. Frickin' Connor, my dude. Sorry, guys. I'm just texting a friend. Sorry, guys. I just texted my friend. I'm taking a slight intermission. My throat's getting quite dry on my mouth. Ah, frick. My friend just said wizard. I just said wizard. Wand of sparking. Terraria, am I right, guys? How do you spell Terraria? Aria. Aria. There we go, Terraria. Guys, what the frick is my channel? I just forgot. I'm having a brain fart right there, guys. I'm like a... Alright, guys. Let's continue on. I'll read a paragraph so we can get a recollection. Recollection? Nothing there, said Peter, and they all trooped out again, all except Lucy. She stayed behind, because she thought it'd be worthwhile. Hold up, some mic on. Alright, sorry, I was messing with my friend. Again, guys, I apologize. Oh god, I have to delete this channel. Just kidding, guys, I'll never leave you. That was my freedom screech. Nothing there, said Peter, and they all trooped out again. Oh god, voice crack. 12-year-olds, am I right, guys? Ha 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 ha. Pedophiles, if you're out there, contact me. Oh no. And they all trooped out again, all except Lucy. She stayed behind because she thought it'd be worthwhile trying the door of the wardrobe, even though she felt almost sure that it would be locked. To her surprise, it actually opened quite easily, and 2 mothballs dropped right out. Man, why 2? I'm sorry, guys. I'm in a very giggity mood. Giggly, I don't know. Looking into the inside, she saw several coats hanging up, mostly long fur coats. There's nothing Lucy likes so much as the smell, and feel of fur. She immediately stepped into the wardrobe and got in among the coats and rubbed her face against them, leaving the door open up. Jesus. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I need to go get a glass of water. I cannot have my voice crack. It's very embarrassing. Even though my face isn't turning red. Maybe because I've developed more confidence, I guess. I don't know, man. Delete. Hey guys, I'm back. Oh, is my mic on? Yeah. Hey guys, I'm back. How long has this been going? 50. Alright. Zappy, what game do you want to play? Sorry, I'm not really playing a game right now. I'm just reading a book. Iser, would you like to hear? Is your mic on? Try to delete my past stream. How do I delete this? How do I delete this? Okay. Hey, what's up guys, it's Zappy Canvas here, and today we're reading The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Currently we have our friend Iser in the stream. Thank you for joining the stream, Iser. It's a pleasure to have you here. Sorry if I take many, little intermissions. I'm just talking to a person. Don't worry, it's not your mom. You don't have to worry. She looks like a cow anyway. That's a joke. Don't take that seriously. Just a little fun banter. Sorry guys, I keep taking intermissions. So we're at where Lucy, she enters the wardrobe because, well, yes, Iser, Savvy Peppy, 69. 69 with your mom. Freaking Canadians, am I right guys? Am I right, Americans? Ha! What am I saying? I apologize to all Canadians out there. You guys are very nice and polite. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day or night. I don't keep track of cycles there. I apologize if I'm supposed to know. hold up. One last interruption. So Jade hasn't. That's rough, man. Maybe she's just like, thinking things over. Maybe you guys just need a little time. When you just gotta take it slow. Yeah, you just gotta, take it nice and slow. You don't want to rush and get in all there, cause like, if you just rush, you just miss out on the good, all the details and stuff. And then once you actually, meet them, you really get in there. You realize they don't like them, and then you realize that, you two don't have much in common. And it's actually still strangers, just surface level stuff. You wanna dig deep. You wanna tell them about your inner workings, how you feel about them. You just wanna get to know them. Just wanna, freaking. Your main intention of getting a girl shouldn't be to frick. You should, fricking is not a good goal to have. Sure, it's pretty good, but it's like, it shouldn't be your only goal. Getting coochie should not be your only goal. Now, finding happiness is my one and ultimate goal. I don't know what your ultimate goal is, but finding happiness, true, absolute happiness, is my goal. Finding a person. I don't know. I'm too young to be saying these things, but after all, hey, I'm 12. Them pituitary gland, frickin' thingabobob. Man, what is wrong with humans? We destroy what we live on. Frickin' vegans don't help at all. Just kidding. I apologize, vegans. You guys are helping out a lot. Thank you for not eating meat and animal-based products. But if you worry about the Amazon rainforest, then you shouldn't be drinking coffee or rice or, just like grow a garden. Grow a garden if you want to be a true vegan. Grow a garden, live off plants, not off animals. Sure, you need protein and stuff, but you can get those through other ways. It's just, I'm not a vegan myself. I try to eat healthy sometimes. My dad, my family are divorced and stuff, so that's kind of rough. But I got through it. We were just bachelors and stuff, and I used to eat a lot of junk food, go out and stuff. I was a little chubster. I was a little chub. I was really thick. But the holy Bible I live by. I will go on a crusade if anyone disrespects the holy Bible. Now, yeah. Frickin' what was I gonna say? What was I thinking? Oh god, brain fart. Why was I talking about thighs? Oh, because I was talking about I was fat. Okay. So, I'm not fat. It's a little chubster. It's a little chubby boy. And then, yeah, not as thick as Poppy Vito. Papa Vito. Yeah, I wasn't that thick as Papa Vito. But I was pretty thick. God. But, yeah, I was pretty I was a little chubster. And I think just because my fifth, when my stepmom came in, she's really wholesome and nice and sweet. She always brings a light, nice atmosphere to her, nice and sunny, sweet, gentle atmosphere around her. She makes really good and healthy meals and stuff. I was like, hey, listen, I'm a hecking chubster, 'cause like, freaking, I'd get like, a person I was talking to, I said, but this little chubster, and then my fifth grade teacher, Mr. Passed Off, yeah, pretty cool dude. Don't, Iser, I swear to God, don't you dare. Listen, Iser, if you say the word, I'm gonna frick your mom into a beehive. Now, Connor's already said the no word. Please don't say it. Iser, please don't say it. Listen, man. Listen. So, please don't. Iser, come on, man. Give me a break. Iser, give me a break, man. Come on. Don't, Iser. I'll okay. I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Please don't actually say it, though, Iser. It's not funny saying a racial slur. Or, coming from the outside, if you're not the color that is accepted to say the word, even though in itself it's discrimination against a word. But then again, just a word, come on. Doesn't really mean anything. But then again, history has treated those people, the specific color, very rudely and unkindly. Just, man, humanity's changed a lot. Then again, it hasn't. I mean, a woman hasn't even touched the moon, except that albino-looking head. Rainbow Six Siege. No, that's a joke. Rainbow Six Siege is purely fictional, except the places it takes. And if there's any coincidence, then it's just coincidence. But we've traveled far. I mean, it's took us millions of evolution. Are we the smartest? I wouldn't say that we're the smartest mammal or smartest animal out there, but I'd say we're pretty close to it. Because we've learned how to use tools, we've hit economics or economy, a culture, a society, a growth, we've colonized the whole earth, and now we're destroying the whole earth. Boogie woogie woogie. Humans are a very interesting thing. Not that I'm saying I'm not a human. I am a human. I bleed, I sweat, I smell, I hear, I feel, I see, I think, I have weight balancing. I can't grow tendrils out of my arms, but I do get bumps out of my arms for some reason. It's really weird. Maybe I am secretly an alien. My dad says that he's Superman. That's very suspicious. It's just a running on joke. Don't actually take that seriously. For a while now, I've been trying to discover my niche in life, what I want to do. I've been playing video games a lot because I have nothing else to go to that I feel satisfied or doing, satisfying doing, or like doing. I mean, sure, playing the double bass is pretty fun, but there's some limitations to it. Like, I don't want to wake my neighbors if there's... The bumps are from our ancestors. No, ancestors? No, I'm talking about, it's like when I scratch... Like, they're like bumps. They're like... They're not allergic bumps, because I've had them for my whole life, unless I'm allergic to air. That's a joke. Oh god, there's still blood on my hand. I'll have to wash that out soon. Because when I was having a nosebleed, I had to check. I think it's not happening anymore. Yeah, I have them bumps a lot. It's not from my ancestors, I don't think so. Because it started appearing when I was like around like 8 or whatever. Is it eczema? What the heck is eczema? I don't know, man. So, are they little tiny ones? Yeah, they're tiny ones on my... It's not on my forearm, it's just on my little, arm. You know what I'm talking about, where it connects to your shoulder and stuff. But it's on like the elbow area. It's around there, and then when I scratch them, it gets like... I scratch them a lot. It's really weird, and it's really weird bumps. But I hope it's just like normal, and I'm having an allergic reaction. What the heck is eczema, my dude? I gotta search that up. Eczema. Eczema. Eczema is a condition where it cracked, blistered. No, I don't have eczema. No, maybe I do have eczema. Search up blue waffles. I do not have cold sores. I do not have, I forgot what it's called. AIDS, not AIDS. I do not have an STD. I do not have cold sores, or... Is it AIDS? Is it really AIDS? Hold up, I forgot what it's called. Blue... I know what they're called, but... I know what a blue waffle is. It's just... It's an STD. I forgot what it's called. Not gonorrhea or syphilis. Chlamydia, no. Diabetes? No, I'm freaking dumb. I'm just searching up STDs. Herpes, yeah. I don't have herpes either. Does blue waffles mean herpes? I will never know, because I'm not into that. Like, not into researching STDs. It's not my type of cup of tea. It's really weird for me to be in. It's really weird for people to be into STD, like, observing it. Only like a doctor. I'd research on STDs. I'm not really into slang or whatever. No, something different. Okay. Yeah, waffle is slang for the genitalia of female. And, oh god, why does my voice sound weird? Using my fan's on high. It's my freaking. So, what was I talking about? And then with my double bass, sure, I love playing my double bass, but it's like, there's certain limitations to it, like, you know, I have hardwood floors. I don't want to play in my room, because, like, it's really small. And the double bass is, like, tall as me. Well, it needs to be tall as me, so I can sit down with it and actually play it. But, I'd say I'm pretty average, but my ability to play is slowly debilitating the more and more I go. But, yeah. Let's get on with reading the book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Iser, do you want a review of... Iser, listen to me. Do you want to recap on The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Of Narnia? Because I'm reading that as a little bedtime story for all of those people who are sleeping. And I decided to pull an all-nighter because... Okay, alright, yeah, I'll give you a recap. So there are 4 people that are going into a... Hold up, let me look at it. There are 4 children, Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy. And the reason why they're moving away is because there were air raids, which is like, you know, because of the war. Because there's a war going on. And they moved to an old professor that lives in the heart of the country in London. And he has like housekeepers. He has a very large house. That's what she... never mind. God, why do I keep blinding myself? When I have something that, like, glows or has light in my hand, I always pick it up to scratch my head. And I just burn my eyeballs, my retinas. And no reason why I have glasses. 'Cause I'm stupid. Alright, so. Me. No, why did I do that? That was cringe. So, and Lucy has discovered a giant wardrobe, not a giant one, but it's a well-sized wardrobe and has a looking glass in the door. And she goes inside because her siblings are just searching around, and she thought, hey, it'd be cool to open the door because she didn't know, you know, curiosity, and Lucy's the youngest, so just start from there. Looking onto the inside, she saw several coats hanging up, mostly long fur coats. There was nothing Lucy more liked so much as the smell and feel of fur. She immediately stepped into the wardrobe, got in among the coats, and rubbed her face against them, leaving the door open, of course, because she knew it would be very foolish to shut oneself into any wardrobe. Soon she went further in, and found that there was a second row of coats hanging up behind the first one. It was almost quite dark in there. She kept her arms stretched out in front of her, as to not bump her face into the back of the wardrobe. She took a step further in, then 2 or 3 steps, always expecting to feel the woodwork against the tips of her fingers, but she could not feel it. This must be simply enormous wardrobe, thought Lucy, still going further and pushing the soft folds of the coats aside to make room for her. Then she noticed that there was something crunching under her feet. I wonder is that more than mothballs, she thought. Hold up. I wonder if there's something more than is that something more than I wonder is that more mothballs, she thought, stooping down to feel with her hand. But instead of feeling the hard, smooth wood floor of the wardrobe, She felt something soft and powdery and extremely cold. "This is queer," she said. Uh, in this generation, queer means, you know, you horrible. Just kidding. I'm reading a book right now. Would you like to hear, Iser? Yeah, weren't you listening?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to keep reading on?
Yeah. So.
Okay. I've muted trans because him and Connor said the N-word, and I thought trans was gonna pass on the N-word, so I didn't want them to say the N-word on stream because I don't want that to happen. I'm not very good at reading aloud. I mostly read in my head, but I think this is good practice for speaking because I stutter a little bit if I'm, you know, in a crowd. So, this is very queer, she said. And, you know, queer is like a thing used by today's time to describe a certain, I forgot what it's called. Man, I'm stupid. Man. I can't think at all. It's really late. Can't think. I don't know. When you like the same gender, then that's what you describe as queer. But in this times, and in London's case, queer means weird in this scenario. Because this book is set far back because of the mention of war, and we haven't, and you know, air raids and stuff in London. I'm guessing if there's air raids, then it's probably World War II or World War One. I don't know, man. I know they didn't have air raids and freaking what's it called? I don't know. And then she went on a step or two further. Next moment, she found that was rubbing against her face, and her hands was no longer soft, but something hard and rough, and even prickly. Why is it just like a barnacle of trees? She exclaimed, Lucy. And then she saw that there was a light ahead of her, not a few inches away from the back of the wardrobe ought to have been, but a long way off. Something cold and soft was circling on her. A moment later, she found that she was standing in the middle of the woods at nighttime, with snow under her feet and snowflakes falling through the air. Lucy felt a little frightened, but she was very inquisitive and excited as well. She looked back over her shoulder, and there, between the dark tree trunks, she could still see the open doorway of the wardrobe, and even catch a glimpse of the empty room which she had set out. She had, of course, left the door open, for she knew it was a very silly thing to shut oneself into a wardrobe. It seems to be daylight there. I can always get back if anything goes wrong, thought Lucy. She began to walk forward, crunch, 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 over the snow and through the wood, towards the other light. In 10 minutes, she reached it and found that it was a lamppost. As she stood looking at it, wondering why there's a lamppost in the middle of the wood, and wondering what to do next, she heard a pitter-patter of feet coming towards her, and soon after there was a very strange person stepped out from among the trees into the light of the lamppost. He was only a little taller than Lucy herself, and he carried over his head an umbrella, white with snow. From the waist upward, he was like a man, but his legs were shaped like a goat's. The hair on them was glossy black, and instead of feet, he had goat hooves. He also had a tail, But Lucy did not notice this at first, because it was neatly caught up. Oh, sorry guys, voice crack. Because it was neatly caught up over his arm that held an umbrella, so as if to keep it from trailing in the snow. He had a red woolen muffler around his neck, and his skin was rather reddish too. He had a strange but pleasant little face, with a short pointed beard and curly hair, and out the hair there struck two horns, one on each side of his forehead. One of his hands, as I said, held an umbrella, and the other arm, which he carried several brown paper parcels. What with the parcels and snow, just looked like he had been doing Christmas shopping. What? He was a fawn. And when he saw Lucy, he gave such a start of surprise that he dropped all of his parcels. "Goodness gracious me!" exclaimed the fawn. Chapter 2. What Lucy found there. "Good evening," said Lucy. But the fawn was so busy picking up the parcels that at first it did not reply. When it had finished, it made her a little bow. Good evening," said the fawn. "Excuse me, I don't want to be inquisitive, but should I be right in thinking that you are a daughter of Eve?" "My name's Lucy," she said, not quite understanding him. "But you are, forgive me, you are what they call a girl?" said the fawn. "Of course I'm a girl." Ugh, yeah, that's bad. Oh man, squeak. Man, I need somebody give me a cup of water right here. I just had some milk. Water feels like, my tongue feels like leather. "Of course I'm a girl," said Lucy. "You are, in fact, human?" "Of course I'm human," said Lucy, still a little puzzled. To be sure, said the fawn. "How stupid of me, but I've never seen a son of Adam or a daughter of Eve before. I am delighted." That is to say, and then it stopped, as if it had been going to say something it did not intended, but it had remembered in time. Delighted, it went on. "Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tunamus." I'll just call him Thomas. Yes, Thomas. "I am very pleased to meet you, Mr. Thomas," said Lucy. "And may I ask, O daughter of Eve, O Lucy, daughter of Eve," said Mr. Thomas, "how have you come into Narnia?" "Narnia? What's that?" said Lucy. "This is the land of Narnia," said the fawn, where we are now. All that lies between the lamp post and the great castle of Cair Paravel on the eastern sea. And you have come from the wild woods of the west?" I got in through the wardrobe in the spare room," said Lucy. "Ah," said Mr. Thomas, rather in a melancholy voice. "If only I had worked harder at geography when I was a little fawn, I should no doubt know all those strange countries. It is too late now." "But they aren't countries at all," said Lucy, almost laughing. "It's only just back there. At least, I'm not sure. It is summer there. Meanwhile," said Mr. Thomas, "it is winter in Narnia, and has been for ever so long. And we shall both catch cold if we stand here talking in the snow. Daughter of Eve, a far land of spare where eternal summer reigns around the bright city of Wardrob. How would it be if you came here and had tea with me?" "Thank you very much, Miss Thomas," said Lucy. "But I was wondering where I ought to be getting back. But it's only just it's only just around the corner," said the fawn. "And there'll be a roaring fire, and toast, and sardines, and cake. Well, it is very kind of you, but I shan't be able to stay too long." I need to get a glass of water. This is messing up my lips, my dude. My crispy whips. Should I go grab a glass of water? I'll grab a glass of water. I think about reading until chapter 3, but I don't know. I'll be back, gamers. Hey guys, I'm back from getting my water. So, just like to continue reading. Sorry, gotta shake out my flashlight. Darn thing. Keep shining in my eyes like a dummy. "If you will take my arm, daughter of Eve," said Mr. Thomas, "I shall be able to hold the umbrella over both of us. That's the way. Now off we go." And so Lucy found herself walking through the wood, arm in arm with this strange creature, as if they've known one another all their lives. They had not gone far before they came to a place where the ground became rough, and there were rocks all around, and little hills down, little hills up and little hills down. At the bottom of one small valley, Mr. Thomas turned suddenly aside, as if he were going to walk straight into an unusually large rock. But at the last moment, Lucy found he was leading her into the entrance of a cave. As soon as they were inside, she found herself blinking in the light of a wood fire. Then Mr. Thomas stooped and took a flaming piece of wood out of the fire with a neat little pair of tongs and little lamp. "Now we shan't be too long," he said, and immediately put a kettle on. Lucy thought she had never been in a nicer place. It was a little, dry, clean cave of a reddish stone with a carpet on the floor and 2 little chairs, "one for me and one for a friend," said Mr. Thomas, "and a table and a dresser and a mantel piece over the fire. Above that a picture of an old fawn with a great beard." Hello. Okay. In one corner, there was a door which Lucy thought must lead onto Mr. Thomas's bedroom, and on one wall was a shelf full of books. Lucy looked at these while he was setting out out the tea things. They had titles like The Life and Letters of Snilus or Nymphs and Their Ways of Men, Monks and Gamekeepers, A Study in Popular Legend, or Is Man a Myth? Now, daughter of Eve, said the fawn. And really, it was a wonderful tea. There was a nice brown egg, lightly boiled for each of them, and then the sardines on toast, then buttered toast, and then toast with honey, and then a sugared top cake. And when Lucy was tired of eating, the fawn began to talk. He had wonderful tales to tell of his life in the forest. He told about midnight dances and how the nymphs who lived in the wells and the dryads who lived in the trees came out to dance with the fawns. About long hunting. Hold up. That's some good quality water. Hunting parties after the milk white stag who could give you your wishes if you caught him. About feasting and treasure seeking with the wild red dwarves in deep mines and caverns far beneath the forest floor. And then about summer when the woods were green and old Silenus on his fat donkey would come to visit them, and sometimes Bacchus himself. And then the streams would run with wine instead of water, and the whole forest would give itself up to jollification for weeks on end. Now that it wasn't always winter now, he added gloomily. Then to cheer himself up, he took out from its case on the dresser a strange little flute that looked as if it was made of straw and began to play. And the tune he played made Lucy want to cry and laugh and dance and go to sleep all at the same time. It must have been hours later when she shook herself and said, "Oh, Mr. Thomas, I'm so sorry to stop you. And I do love that tune. But really, I must go home. I only meant to stay for a few minutes. It's no good now, you know," said the fawn, laying down its flute and shaking its head at her sorrowfully. "No good?" said Lucy, jumping up and feeling rather frightened. "What do you mean? I've got to go home at once. The others will be wondering what happened to me." But a moment later, she asked, "Mr. Thomas, whatever's the matter?" For the fawn's brown eyes had filled with tears, and then the tears began trickling down his cheeks, and soon they were running off the end of its nose, and at last to cover its face with its hands began to howl. Mr. Thomas, said Lou in great distress. Don't. What is the matter? Aren't you well? Dear Mr. Thomas, please do tell me what is wrong." But the fawn continued sobbing, as if his own heart would break. And even when Lucy went over and put her arms around him and lent him her handkerchief, he did not stop. He merely took the handkerchief and kept on using it, wringing it out with both hands when it got too wet to be more of use. So that presently Lucy was standing in a damp patch. "Mr. Thomas," bawled Lucy in his ear, shaking him. Do stop at once. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, a great big fawn like you. What on earth are you crying about?" Oh, sobbed Mr. Thomas. "I'm crying because I'm such a bad fawn." "I don't think you're a bad fawn at all," said Lucy. "I think you're a very good fawn. You're the nicest fawn I've ever met." Oh, you wouldn't say that about yourself if you knew if you knew, replied Mr. Thomas between his sobs. I'm a bad fawn. I don't suppose there'd any be a worse fawn since the beginning of the world. But what have you done? Asked Lucy. My old father, now, said Mr. Thomas. That's his picture over the mantelpiece. He would have never done a thing like this. A thing like what? Said Lucy. Like what I've done, said the fawn. Taken service under the White Witch. Oh God, why does he sound like a weird, like pimp? Like a weird, like what I've done. Taken service under the White Witch, that's what I am. I'm in the pay of the White Witch. The White Witch? Who is she? Why, it is she that's got old Nardia under her thumb. It's the thing that makes it always winter, never Christmas. Think of that. How awful, said Lucy. But what does she pay you for? That's the worst of it, said Mr. Thomas with a deep groan. I'm a kidnapper for her. And that's what I am. Look at me, daughter of Eve. Would you believe that I'm sort of fond to meet in a poor innocent child in the woods, one that's never done me any harm, pretend to be friends with it, and invite it home in my cave, all for the sake of lulling it to sleep and then handing over to the White Witch? No, said Lucy. I'm sure you wouldn't do anything of the sort. But I have, said the fawn. Well, said Lucy rather slowly, for she wanted to be truthful, yet too hard on him. Well, that's pretty bad, but you're so sorry for it that I'm sure you'll never do it again. Daughter of Eve, don't you understand? Said the fawn. It isn't something I have done. I'm doing it right now, at this very moment. What do you mean? Cried Lucy, turning very white. You are the child, said Mr. Thomas. I had orders from the White Witch that if I ever saw a son of Adam or a daughter of Eve in the wood, I was to catch them and hand them over to her. And you are the very first I've ever met. And I pretended to be your friend and asked you to tea. All the time I've been meaning to talk to you till I've been meaning to wait till you're asleep and then go and tell her. Oh, but you won't, Mr. Thomas, said Lucy. You won't, will you? Indeed you won't, really mustn't. And if I don't, he began to cry again. She's sure to find out, and I'll have my tail cut off and my horns sawn off and my beard plucked out, and she'll wave her wand over my beautiful cloven hooves and turn them to horrific solid hooves like a wretched horse. And if she is extra and specially earnestly, she turns me into stone, and I shall be only a statue of a fawn in her horrible house until the 4 thrones of Care Palaver are filled, and goodness knows what will happen, or whether it'll happen at all. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry, Mr. Thomas, said Lucy, but please let me go home. Of course I will, said the fawn. Of course I've got to. I see that now. I hadn't known what humans were like before I met you. Of course I can't give you to the witch. Not now that I know you. But we must be off at once. I'll see you back at the lamppost. I suppose you could find your own way from back there in the spare room and wardrobe. I'm sure I can, said Lucy. We must go as quietly as we can, said Mr. Thomas. The whole wood is full of her spies. Even some of the trees are on her side. Bruh. Everybody gangsta till the trees start talking. some good water. I'll be taking a slight intermission. Ezra, you may unmute your mic. That was good, right? Just taking a little stretch break.
I'm just messaging my friend while I was listening to you.
Hmm.
Me and the minister being civilians. I'm not even in my office. I'm just laying on my bed. Zappy, I also like the ones where it says cock and roll.
Oh yeah.
And then this one, this meme I have, where it's like, my boyfriend got my mom pregnant, my brother got me pregnant, my mother is my sister, my father got me pregnant, I'm in love with my dog. Every day we stay further from God. Wait, me, I barely touched them. My little brother. I'm paralyzed from the neck down and can no longer move it.
Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And oink oink there, and oink oink there. Alright.
Should I add? No, you don't want to do that.
Should I just add my all my friends into here?
Wait, what?
Should I add all my friends into here?
Do the party?
Yeah, to the party. Say I'm reading a book.
I'm gonna make some yippee. Zappy, I don't know, should I post this to the story? What's better, cocked in the ass or balls in the full?
Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Alright, I'm gonna start doing my book again. Man, what time is it? 2:33. Alright. Gave me a good time. My legs are starting to feel whack. How you doing? Ezra, how you doing?
Fun.
I'm just looking at memes right now, guys. Please take this time to grab a drink, grab a cozy cover, sit down, relax. I know when I'm ready to get on with the show.
So we just got to come up with these new ideas and new ways for us to really make it work. So I'm working with a few people where we're exploring things like video, the iPhone video,
Sorry guys, I'll mute my mic for a little bit. Yeah. Just taking a small intermission. Okay, yeah. You should play some elevator music. Cringe. Loud. Was that?
How tired are you?
Not that much.
Where's Frank? This is not this.
Please wait to transfer your call.
Please, zappy, if you only can mute him.
What?
If you only can mute him, Mike, so we can stay.
I just...
You can unmute. Let's just set the music.
Okay. Alright, I'm ready. Sorry, I was just sifting through some memes.
Are you done now, zappy?
Yup. Just talk.
Whenever you need an intermission, we can have that music on standby.
Thank you, Iser, for your help. I'm glad for it. Alright,
My dog's kicking me.
so what we recollect is that the Fawn betrayed Mr. Thomas betrayed Lucy, and he's really sad about that. And then the witch of the Wicked Witch, or the whatever, or the Winter Witch, whatever her face is. I forgot. No, hold up. Let me tell her. Let's see her name. Something. Wild. Something witch. Winter Witch. Something with a witch. Son of a witch. And he has spies. She has spies everywhere. She's really, from what I've heard, she's pretty brutal. Alright. So, I'll just read a paragraph before. Let's get the show on the road. I'm sure I can, said Lucy. We must go as quietly as we can, said Mr. Thomas. The whole wood is full of her spies. Even some of the trees are on our side. They both got up and left their tea things on the table, and Mr. Thomas once put up his umbrella and gave Lucy his arm, and they went out into the snow. The journey back was not all like the journey to the Fawn's cave. They stole along as quickly as they could, without speaking a word, and Mr. Thomas kept to the darkest places. Lucy was relieved when they reached the lamppost again. Do you know your way back here, daughter of Eve? Said Thomas. Lucy looked hard between the trees and could just see in the distance a patch of light that looked like daylight. Yes, I can see the wardrobe door. Then be off as quick as you can, said the Fawn. And can you ever forgive me for what I meant to do? Why, of course I can, shaking him heartily by the hand. And I do hope you won't get into dreadful trouble on my account. Farewell, daughter of the Eve, said he. Perhaps I may keep the handkerchief? Rather, said Lucy, then ran towards the far-off patch of daylight as quickly as her legs would carry her. And presently, instead of rough branches brushing past her, she felt coats. And instead of crunching snow under her feet, she felt wooden boards. And at all once, she found herself jumping out of the wardrobe into the same empty room which the whole adventures had started. She shut the wardrobe door tightly behind her, looked around, panting for breath. It was still raining. She could hear the voices of the others in the passage. "I'm here," she shouted. "I'm here. I've come back. I'm all right." Ah, keep blinding myself, my dude. All right, one more chapter, and I'll play some games. Chapter 3. Edmund and the Wardrobe. Lucy ran out of the empty room into the passage and found the other three. "It's all right," she repeated. "I've come back." "What on earth are you talking about, Lucy?" said Susan. "Why," said Lucy in amazement, "haven't you all been wondering where I was? So you've been hiding, have you?" said Peter. "Poor old Lou, hiding and nobody's noticed. You'll have to hide longer than that if you want people to start looking for you." "But I've been away for hours and hours," said Lucy. The others stared at one another. "Batty," said Edmund, tapping his head. "Quite batty." "What do you mean, Lou?" said Peter. "What I said," answered Lucy. "It was just after breakfast when I went into the wardrobe, and I've been away for hours and hours. I've had tea and all sorts of things happen." "Don't be silly, Lucy. Said Susan. "We've only just come out of that room a moment ago, and you were there then." "She's not being silly at all," said Peter. "She's just making up a story for fun, aren't you, Lou?" "And why shouldn't she?" "No, Peter, I'm not," she said. It's a magic wardrobe. There's a wood inside, it's snowing, and there's a faun and a witch, and it's called Narnia. Come and see." The others did not know what to think, but Lucy was so excited they all went back with her into the room. She rushed ahead of them, flung the door of the open wardrobe, and cried, "Now, go in and see for yourselves." "Why, you goose," said Susan, putting her head inside and pulling the fur coats apart. "It's just an ordinary wardrobe. Look, there's the back of it." Then everyone looked in and pulled the coats apart. They all saw, Lucy herself saw, a perfectly ordinary wardrobe. There was no wood and no snow, only the back of the wardrobe with hooks on it. Peter went in and rapped his knuckles on it to make sure it was solid. "A jolly good hoax, Lou," he said as he came out again. You have really taken us in, I must admit."
Zappy,
Was my mic on?
does it still say that live streaming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I shake off my flashlight. He said as he came out again. You have really taken us in, I must admit. We half believed you." "But it wasn't a hoax at all," said Lucy. "Really and truly, it was all different a moment ago. Honestly, it was, I promise." "Come, Lou," said Peter. "That's going a bit far. You've had your joke. Hadn't you better drop it now?" Lucy grew very red in the face and tried to say something, though she hardly knew what it was she was trying to say, and burst into tears. For the next few days she was very miserable. She could have made it up with others quite easily at any moment if she had brought herself to say the whole thing was only a story made up for fun. But Lucy was a very truthful girl, and she knew that she was really in the right, and she could not bring herself to say this. The others, who thought she was telling a lie, a silly lie too, made her very unhappy. The two elder ones did not the two elder ones did this without meaning to it. But Edmund could be spiteful, and on this occasion, he was spiteful. He sneered and jeered at Lucy, kept on asking if she found any new countries and other cupboards around the house. What made it worse is that these days ought to have been delightful. The weather was fine, and they were outdoors from morning to night, bathing, fishing, climbing trees, and lying in the heather. But Lucy could not properly enjoy any of it, and so things went on until the next wet day. Oh man, I'm gonna go lay in my bed. My legs are killing me. I'm not gonna fall asleep. Ugh. I'll try not to. I'll put myself in a really uncomfortable position that I can't fall asleep. Man, I'd love to go fishing. Freaking coronavirus, bro. I love fishing, my dude. Fishing's fun. It's like a sport where you kill something and then eat it. Ron Swanson. Ron Ulysses Swanson. Alright. Let's see. Okay. Till the next wet day. That day, when it came into the afternoon. Oh God. Does my voice break when I lay down? That day, when it came into the afternoon, there's still no sign of a break in the weather. They decided to play hide and seek. Susan was it. And as soon as the others scattered to hide, Lucy went into the room where the wardrobe was. She did not mean to hide in the wardrobe, because she knew it would only set up the others talking again about the whole wretched business. But she did want to have one more look inside of it, for by this time she was beginning to wonder herself whether Narnia and the Fawn had not been a dream. The house was so large and complicated and full of hiding places that she would have time to have one look into the wardrobe and then hide somewhere else. But as soon as she reached it, she heard steps in the passage outside, and there was nothing for it but to jump in the wardrobe and hold the door closed behind her. She did not shut it properly, because she knew it was a very silly thing to shut oneself into a wardrobe, even if it's not a magic one. This is a callback to a running on joke that Lucy will never shut herself into a wardrobe oneself into a wardrobe. Or silly it is to do that. Now the steps she had heard were those of Edmund, and he came into the room just in time to see Lucy vanishing into the wardrobe. He at once decided to get into it himself, not because he thought it'd be a particularly good place to hide, but because he wanted to go on teasing her about her imaginary country. He opened the door. There were coats hanging up as usual, and the smell of mothballs and darkness and silence, and no sign of Lucy. "She thinks I'm Susan come to catch her," said Edmund to herself. Hold up. Did I skip a page? Okay, I didn't skip a page. Yeah, so he's talking about the smell.
Put some redstone after the meeting. Zappy. After it's done.
Sorry about that, gamers.
Zappy, how long has the stream been going?
2 hours.
2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Are you done book?
Hold up.
I said, are you done book?
Not yet.
Let's just play some calming music for a bit.
Alright. Let me just finish this chapter. In a good place.
We can just do that.
Alright. Mothballs, darkness, and silence. And no sign of Lucy. She thinks I'm Susan come to catch her, said Edmund to himself. So she's keeping very quiet at the back. He jumped in and shut the door, forgetting what a very foolish thing this is to do. Then he began feeling about for Lucy in the dark. He had expected to find her in a few seconds, and he was very surprised when he did not. He decided to open the door again and let in some light, but he could not find the door either. He did not like this at all, and began groping wildly in every direction. He even shouted out, "Lucy! Lou! Where are you? I know you're here." There's no answer, and Edmund noticed that his own voice had a curious sound. Not the sound you'd expect in a cupboard, but some kind of open air sound. He also noticed that he was unexpectedly cold. Then he saw a light. "Thank goodness," said Edmund. "The door must have swung open of its own accord." He forgot all about Lucy and went towards the light, which he thought was the open door of the wardrobe. But instead of finding himself stepping out into the spare room, he found himself stepping out from the shadow in some thick fir trees into an open place in the middle of a wood. There was a crisp, dry snow under his feet, and more snow lying on the branches of the trees. Overhead there was a pale blue sky, the sort of sky one sees on a fine winter day in the morning. Straight ahead of him, he saw between the tree trunks the sun, just rising, very red and clear. Everything was perfectly still, as if he were the only living creature in the country. There was not even a robin or a squirrel among the trees, and the wood stretched as far as he could see in every direction. He shivered. He now remembered what he had been looking for, Lucy, and how unpleasant he had been to her and about her imaginary country, which now turned out a bit imaginary at all. He thought she must have been somewhere quite close, and he shouted, "Lucy! Lucy! I'm here too! Edmund!" There's no answer. She's angry about all the things I've been saying to her lately, thought Edmund, and thought, though he did not like to admit he had been wrong. Also, he did not like being alone in this strange, cold, quiet place, so he shouted again. "I say, Lucy, I'm sorry I didn't believe in you. I see it now. You're right all along. Do come out. Make it Pax." Still there was no answer. "Just like a girl," Edmund said to himself, sulking around somewhere and won't accept an apology. He looked around himself again and decided, woman, am I right, guys? But no, woman can be actually very nice. Not trying to be a simp and all, but some can be very nice, like your mother. Your mother's very nice. All of our mothers very nice. Except prosties. Prosties are not very good. Man, I wish I could turn on music right now. I could really go for some music. I have like a whole library of songs. Like 326, I think. Ooh, play some jazz.
Just relax, okay? Don't play some games. Just relax.
Can I read a book?
Huh?
Can I read the book? I'm not trying to...
Yeah, I'll leave this in the background.
Okay.
And then after, we'll just listen to it.
He looked around again and decided he did not much like this place. And he had almost made up his mind to go home when he heard very far off into the wood a sound of bells. He listened and the sound came nearer and nearer, and at last there swept into sight a sledge drawn by 2 reindeer. The reindeer were about the size of shed-head ponies, and their hair was so white that even the snow hardly looked white compared to them. Their branching horns were gilded and shone like something on fire when the sunrise caught them. Their harness was of scarlet leather and covered with bells. On the sledge, driving the reindeer, sat a fat dwarf who had been about 3 feet high, as if he had been standing. He was dressed in a polar bear's fur, and on his head he wore a red hood with a long gold tassel hanging down from its point. His huge beard covering his ears and serving him instead of a rug. But behind him, on a very much higher seat in the middle of the sledge, sat a very different person, a great lady, taller than any woman Edmund had ever seen. Ooh, now that's what we like. That was a joke. She also. Why do I say that was a joke? I'm trying not to be offensive to anyone, so that's why I say that's a joke, so people won't take it seriously. I should really get out of the habit of that. Taller than any woman that Edmund had seen. She was also covered in white fur up to her throat, and held a long, straight gold wand in her right hand, and wore a golden crown on her head. Her face was white, not merely pale, but white like snow or paper or icing sugar, except for a very red mouth. It was a beautiful face in other respects, but proud and cold and stern. The sledge was a fine sight as it came sweeping towards Edmund, and the bells jingling and the dwarf cracking his whip and the snow flying upon each side of it. "Stop!" said the lady, and the dwarf pulled the reindeer up so sharp that they almost sat down. I'm feeling slight fatigue. Then they recovered themselves and stood champing their bits and blowing. In this frosty air, the breath coming out of their nostrils looked like smoke. "And what, pray, are you?" Pray as in Pray, not pray as in Pey, said the lady, looking hard at Edmund. My name's Edmund," said Edmund, rather awkwardly. He did not like the way she looked at him. The lady frowned. "Is that he would address a queen?" she asked, looking sterner than ever. "I beg your pardon, your majesty. I didn't know," said Edmund. Not know the Queen of Narnia?" cried she. "Ha! You shall know us better hereafter. But I repeat, what are you?" "Please, your majesty," said Edmund, I don't know what you mean. I'm at school. At least I was. It's the holidays now." And that is the end of chapter 3. Do you want me to keep going on?
Let's just relax for a bit and then do some relaxing music.
Okay.
When I mean relax, I mean don't play a game, play it.
Okay. Guys, we'll be playing a slight intermission. Please feel free to cuddle up with a blanket or a fellow loved one. Just sit tight, relax. Let all the stress peel out of you. Ooh.
It's a 30-minute intense.
Okay. I have a questionizer. So, if 3 hours were taken away, would it be 12? 12? Oh, God. There's no 0 a.m.
Yeah, I like this one.
It's very relaxing. This will be a 30-minute intermission. Please get some food, sustenance, anything to keep you going. Supreme. Why'd I search up Supreme? Frick. Oh my god. That's like really loud. Welcome to the USSR.